Hey, what's up guys, Shuckleking here bringing you another Wi-Fi battle. We are facing off against Mid this week for APA. Pretty excited about this game. Two teams are doing pretty well. Before we get into it, if you guys want to consider giving a subscription to the channel, I appreciate everyone's support they've been giving me. Thank you so much. And maybe consider liking the video or saying what you think about the question of the day, which you see below. Pretty excited is my response to the question, but I want to hear what you guys think about it. So, yeah, Mid's definitely a great coach. Probably almost locked the playoffs. We're both in a very good position to make playoffs. I win one more game, I'm pretty much guaranteed to make it. And I think Mid needs to win like one or two more games as well. So I think he's eyeing to make playoffs. So I think we both don't want to bring necessarily our like A+ team to this game, but potentially. I also do want to win this game. It'd be cool if I could stay undefeated. Even though I probably should have lost last week, but we'll forget about that. So Mid's team down below is Snorlax, Gastrodon, Celebi, Umbreon, Regirock, and Mawile. I think they're the 6 most likely to come. Noctowl, Rotom, Salazzle, Shiinotic, and Hitmonchan are the other 5 that could come to this game. So the first Pokemon I really like is Nastaplat Tornadus, because the Mid's team is kind of slow. I should outspeed everything except for the Salazzle or like any Scarfer. And then, like, between Hurricane and Focus Blast, I kill just about everything. And then Dark Pulse is there that hit the Rotom, if that decides to come. So, yeah, I like this combination here, as long as we can hit our moves, which we'll see about that. We got a Klefki that is special defensive. Hopefully I can get some spikes up and wear down the Mons that way. Like, Tornadus maybe doesn't even have to go for Nasty Plot. It can just click moves and kill Mons. Toxic for any Pokemon that could be a little bit annoying, like the Snorlax, though it could have immunity. Celebi is also a nice target there. Even though it has Natural Cure to switch at it, I would at least force it to. And then Psychic to hit the Salazzle and Dazzling Gleam just for stab coverage. Next we got a Bulk Up Gallade. Swords Dance works as well, but if it's like a Curse Snorlax, I could just set up alongside it and then Drain Punch, and I should be able to beat a one-on-one. Triple Axle is there to hit the what's it called, Celebi for pretty decent damage, and then Zed Headbutt just for overall a little bit harder hitting move than Drain Punch, and also hits the Salazzle. So Lumberry will allow me to not get burned or poisoned by something. Next we got Physical Defensive Blissey, Stealth Rock, Toxic, Self Boil, Teleport. No Choppleberry this week though, so I'm not too worried about Hitmonchan, I think. Stealth Rocks to chip down damage, so that way Torn and Gallade could potentially win. Maybe other offensive mons I have in the back. Toxic, again, just to get damage on stuff. Toxic's just such a nice move. Soft Boil for recovery, and then Teleport to gain general momentum. This should also beat really any Celebi, honestly. Next we got Sharpedo, which could also do decent damage to Celebi with dark coverage moves. I should have EVs here to get the 149. Protect, Crunch, Waterfall, Close Combat. Waterfall gives me a chance to get flinches, which seems pretty nice over Liquidation. And Close Combat to nuke the Umbreon and also hits the Snorlax pretty well. But Dual Stab hits his team pretty hard, honestly. And Life Orb definitely doing a lot of damage. And the last Pokemon is kind of cool, is Slowbro. I want to make sure I have an answer to a Mawile, because like a Swords Dance Mawile could be a little bit annoying. So I want something that could take a knockoff or a Sucker Punch. And I should kill in return with Flamethrower. Sludge Bomb is for general damage, and Grass Knot can do a lot of damage to the Gastrodon. I don't believe I kill, but I do a lot of damage to it. And the Speed Slam would always outspeed Gastrodon, unless it's a fast Gastrodon, which I would doubt, but I think he's doubting that I'd bring fast Slowbro. So yeah, that's the team. Let's get right into the game. Alright, here we are for the battle for week 5 against MidPokeMaster. Again, I want to address this now, so this video is late because my audio just cut out completely when I did my team overview and the battle. My audio was on mute, so that was kind of unfortunate. I wasn't sure how I was going to approach doing a video for this, but I decided I did want to give you guys content, so I'm going to be posting the video here. But it's going to be a post-com narration. Not something that probably will happen too much, but let me know what you think about this format. I guess I'll be able to go in a little bit more detail and maybe not seem as rushed, I guess, inside the actual battle. Maybe give a little bit more insight, but honestly, it's easier if I could just live record my thoughts, and I feel like it's a little bit more hype if you get my raw reacts about how the game, because I already know if I won or lost. I also don't have a video for APA for week 6. Jorge had to forfeit out the rest of the season, which is unfortunate. So I'm currently 5-0. So I'm definitely in playoffs. Again, I didn't know that before this game happened. So I have like probably a B team. I don't think it's my A team for sure, but definitely something that can win the game. And if I can like get top seed, that would always be something I kind of strive for. So if I win this game, I'll be 6-0. If I lose this game, I'll be 5-1. But yeah, so there's gonna be no week 6 battle. That's why I'm posting this battle of this time instead. So yeah, getting into the game. So he brought Hitmonchan, which is something I didn't expect necessarily, and I'll probably be pausing in and out at some points during this, depending, maybe fast forward, stally parts, we'll see. But yeah, he brought Hitmonchan, which was something I didn't really expect to come. I have a lot of fighting type answers on my team, but the combination of like Mach Punch, Drain Punch, Earthquake, Ice Punch does pretty decent damage against like the general team that I have, so it makes sense that he would have brought something like this. And obviously you probably want a fighting type to take on a Blissey, because that can be pretty annoying otherwise. So yeah, definitely fair game that he brought that. Another thing that he brought that I wasn't totally expecting was the Rotom. I just don't think Rotom's particularly that great, especially the normal Rotom form, so I'm fine with it. Honestly, everything in my team can beat it anyway. Especially because even like Gallade has Lumberry to take a hit or so I'm not too worried about a Rotom in this game. So yeah, looking at leads, I knew that Hitmonchan was going to be annoying, so I wanted to lead with the Klefki. One, I can get a Toxic on it, and I knew I could guaranteed live a hit, unless it was like Bandit Hitmonchan or something, which if it's Bandit Hitmonchan, then I have pretty nice outs for it, like Slowbro plus Torn should handle Bandit Hitmonchan with really no issues. So I figured the Klefki was nice, so I could Toxic the Hitmonchan, and eventually I'll be able to beat it. But again, with Mach Punch there, I can't really rely on Sharpedo, just revenge killing it necessarily. Can't really rely on Blissey. Slowbro can eat an Earthquake for sure and do decent damage in return. But if it's AV, then it's not going to be doing a ton of damage because I don't have Psychic coverage. Gallade can do okay damage, and obviously Torn would kill. So the game plan would just get a Toxic Golf in his Hitmonchan, live the hit, and then pivot around and work around it as best as possible. So probably debating about what I'm going for here. Toxic, again, probably makes the most sense. So I know this Hitmonchan is not going to be able to beat me. Another issue could be like a Bulk Up Hitmonchan. Could have definitely been a bring in this game, like Bulk Up, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, and then either Mach Punch or Earthquake, depending on what coverage you run. You really only need Drain Punch plus Ice Punch. Earthquake hits the Slowbro and the Klefki, but Ice Punch hits Slowbro fine, and Drain Punch hits Klefki fine, especially at like a +1 attack. So yeah, he's doing a lot of damage there. He didn't take Life Orb damage, so I know based on the damage that he dealt with that Earthquake that he's either Adamant or Jolly Expert Belt. So I guess that's okay. Life Orb would mean he's taking more residual damage, which would have been great at including the Toxic I already have on it, but Expert Belt means it's going to be at least hitting slightly not as hard. He went for an Earthquake there, and I'm very confident he's not going to go for an Earthquake again. Because I do have a Torn in the back, going for Earthquake just gives me momentum that he probably wants to keep otherwise, because this is pretty decent for him that he's already able to almost essentially kill him on it. Klefki would have been nice to get Spikes up. It's not the most useful thing in the world outside of like dealing with the Umbreon pretty well, especially because I imagine Celebi's going to have Earth Power or something to hit the Klefki. So I'm going to go into Slowbro predicting either a Drain Punch or an Ice Punch, and I should take that plus an Earthquake, especially because I know it's not Life Orb. And based on that Drain Punch damage, I'm still not sure if it's Adamant or Jolly Hitmonchan, which probably doesn't really matter. If it's Adamant, then it's probably going to be bulkier. If it's Jolly, there's a chance it might be trying to outspeed my Gallade. So just something to note there. I don't have Psychic coverage to hit this Hitmonchan, and I'm probably taking a decent hit from Earthquake. So I'm going to go into the Torn. I really don't think he's going to go for an Ice Punch or a Thunder Punch here. especially because Hitmonchan's pretty useful in this game. So I imagine he's going to make a switch into something, and my Torn should basically take on any mon that he brings in. He does decide to bring in a Rotom, which seems weird. If I went for like a Psychic or Psyshock, I probably would have done under half, but I would have done definitely decent damage to Rotom, because Rotom has nice resistances, but doesn't really take hits terribly well. But my Torn doesn't want to stay in. I died probably to a Volt Switch or a Thunderbolt. And Dark Pulse, I'd have to rely on flinching. Could also definitely be Colbur Berry to take on like the Sharpedo. So I have to figure out the play I'm going to make. Blissey's the play. Blissey is definitely worried if he goes for a trick here. My Blissey is basically useless. It can still get up rocks, Toxic, it can teleport, like gain initiative in that regard. But it would have been risky. But he just went for Volt Switch. And based on the damage, he actually isn't special attack invested. So it could either be like physically defensive or special defensive to take on the Torn, I guess, or the Sharpedo with Colbur Berry, something like that. Or it's like a bulky Scarf set, which could definitely be a bring, especially if it's Trick. So he does bring out the Hitmonchan here, which definitely makes a lot of sense. And based on the HP I'm at, I could counter and probably kill this Hitmonchan. I normally would kill Hitmonchan even if it's adamant if he goes for a Drain Punch. Close combat annihilates me, but based on him going for Drain Punch earlier, I don't think he's going to be Drain Punch plus close combat. So I'm pretty confident I could take a hit. Again, Blissey's not the most useful thing on the team. It is nice to take on the Rotom, but I'm not too worried about the Rotom. Everything else can take advantage of it. So I'm going to go for the Teleport here. Predict him to either predict me to go into my Slowbro or the Torn. And he goes for Earthquake, which is great. And based on that damage that he did with the Earthquake, I actually know that he's adamant Hitmonchan. So just general usefulness there. Actually, I think my Galley didn't add speed Jolly max speed Hitmonchan. So that was another issue there. But it's adamant, so I know that my Galley will add speed, which is great because I can do decent damage and probably kill with a Zen Headbutt, so that's perfect. But I am able to teleport, gain momentum, and go into my Slowbro. Torn could also have been the play there, but if I miss a Hurricane and he wants to stay in and Ice Punches, that'd be pretty unfortunate. My Slowbro I know lives a hit. I probably don't kill it, but I might kill it after all the poison damage plus the attacks that I'd be going for it. So I would probably take that exchange of losing my Slowbro to this Hitmonchan. So he is going to switch out the Hitmonchan, I guess, fearing the Psychic move, and he's going to go into Umbreon, which definitely makes sense. I'm going for Sludge Bombs here. It hits my hardest hitting move, and I can get poisons and stuff, which would have been great. I don't get the poison here, unfortunately. What we do find out, though, is based on the damage I did with Sludge Bomb, that he is special defensive. So that's nice. Means my Gallade should be doing more damage, and my Sharpedo should be doing more damage with close combat. So I'm fine with this. It would also be fine if I get a poison on his Umbreon, especially because I don't think he's going to go for an attack. And even if he goes for an attack, I do have Colbur Berry, which is honestly not that useful in this game because he didn't bring them all a while, outside of like a Darkest Lariat, Snorlax, or Foul Play Umbreon or something. So I'm fine just staying in, just continuously going for Sludge Bombs. He does Baton Blast to try to gain momentum and goes into this Gastrodon. So he's probably like Wish Protect, Baton Pass, Foul Play. I think that set makes the most sense. Either that or he's not Wish Protect. So that would be just a general interesting bring. So I do decent damage to the Gastrodon. I don't think my Grass Knot will kill in return, but I'll do a lot of damage and I'll outspeed. And even if he Earthquakes, I'm going to live the hit. And live the hit pretty comfortably. So I do go for a Grass Knot and get a ton of damage off, which is great. It just makes my Sharpedo easier to at least do pretty well. The downside of Sharpedo is the Hitmonchan is still a thing and could just kill me with Mach Punch. So that is something in the future I might have to worry about. So I bring the Gastrodon super low to the point of where a Sludge Bomb should kill it based on the damage I did initially. And I don't really think I'm risking a speed tie here. I did outspeed the Gastrodon initially. I did creep a decent amount with my Slowbro to outspeed Gastrodon, and I don't think he's going to be running speed on this Gastrodon to like risk it a speed tie. If it is a speed tie and I lose a speed tie, so be it. But I think I'm pretty confident I can get this kill on this Gastrodon. But he switches out, which makes sense if he wants to save the Storm Drain or Water Absorb, whichever ability, for Sharpedo clicking a water move. So that's fine. So I go for a Sludge Bomb, hit the Umbreon, don't get the poison. A little bit unfortunate. I do still live a Foul Play pretty comfortably here, so it just would be nice to get a poison on this Umbreon. He's going to go for a Wish, and that's fine. Another reason why I could have gone into... Actually, I didn't have a whole lot of switching. Sharpedo could have been a switch-in, but if he wishes and goes into like Hitmonchan, I can't do a ton. So that's like the main reasons there. But I do get a poison here with this Sludge Bomb, which is great. And he's going for a Wish. He should live this hit pretty comfortably. So I imagine he's going to just go for Attack or go for a Heal Bell. And he goes for a Foul Play. So I know it's Wish, Heal Bell, Baton Pass. There's a chance it could not be Protect. I would doubt it, but I guess it's not impossible. So I am able to just slack off, take the berry, and be at a pretty comfortable amount of health. And I know that obviously another Foul Play won't kill. And I should be doing not a lot of damage with the Sludge Bomb. This Umbreon probably beats me one-on-one. And you could go for Foul Play here, do pretty decent damage. And the best I could do is probably just slack off and maybe like wear him down to Poison. Does a lot of damage, but that's not going to be that useful for me, especially you could get a crit. So I make the play in a Sharpedo. You could go for Foul Play here and do like 30%, which would be unfortunate. But like he really doesn't have a switch in to Close Combat plus Crunch. Like if the Celebi comes in, it's taking a Close Combat, and then Crunch should be doing decent damage. And then I can gauge how much bulk the Celebi has based on the Close Combat damage I would have done to it. Otherwise, really nothing takes a Close Combat in the Crunch. Again, if it's like Colbur Rotom, then I could also kind of scout that out. But he goes for a Wish here, and he's at like 73, 74% HP. Close Combat Jolly Life Orb does 71, 84. So I'm pretty confident to go for the Close Combat here and try to kill this Umbreon. It also prevents the Gastrodon from coming in. The Rotom could have came in there, and that's fine if it did. I could just switch out, go into Blissey. But he does stay with the Umbreon, and I do kill. I knew it was special defensive, so I knew I had a pretty decent chance to kill. So this is great for me. Don't have to worry about the Umbreon. My Slowbro looks pretty decent in general. Again, the Hitmonchan Earthquake is going to be annoying. But outside of that, it does pretty decent damage to the team. It can get poisons on the Slowbro, which would be great. And maybe I could even live update this and say that Umbreon is dead. There you go. So I'm going to Protect here just to see what the Umbreon is going to do. And I can also like negate the I'm not negating leftovers, but I'm giving him a little bit more poison damage. But he goes for Drain Punch there. So there's a chance he might not have Mach Punch, but there's also a chance he could have predicted me to Protect, because there was really no reason for me not to Protect. I don't think he was going to bulk up or sub there or anything. And then I can make the appropriate switch out, because he could definitely Mach Punch here and predict me to go for the Protect. So I'm going to switch out, go into the Torn, because I was going into Slowbro a lot initially, so he might go for an Earthquake here, but now he just goes for the Drain Punch again and gets a crit, which is unfortunate, and probably honestly a Waterfall might have killed the Slowbro from that range. I am Life Orb. I do pretty decent damage, so it seemed kind of risky there, but it works out for him, and the crit just means he recovers even more HP. A little bit unfortunate, but something I can manage. But I don't think he's going to want to risk the Hitmonchan here, so I feel like Dark Pulse is a pretty safe play. I think it's pretty obvious he's going to go into the Rotom, so I imagine that's like the Torn answer. It probably takes a Hurricane plus a Dark Pulse with like Colbur Berry and can kill me in return. Again, I do have Blissey as a backup there, but I was pretty sure he was going to make this play. And he's not even Colbur Berry. Not really sure what the spread is, but I'm pretty confident that it's not going to be like a Scarf set. Maybe like Special Defensive or something, but Dark Pulse just 2 KOs. And yeah, not really worried that it's going to outspeed me. So I do end up picking the kill on the Rotom, which is great. My Torn looks pretty free to click either Focus Blast or Hurricanes, depending on the Pokemon. If Snorlax comes in, obviously Focus Blast. And obviously I do have to hit as well, so it is risky with these 70% moves that I have. So Snorlax is in. Definitely a pretty decent threat. Could have immunity, so my Klefki's not a great answer to go for a Toxic on it. Could be banded, so my Galley's not a great switch in. Blissey wouldn't be a great switch in either. Slowbro doesn't want to, or Sharpedo's might take hits. Slowbro doesn't want to take an Earthquake. So I just want to stay in and do as much damage to this as possible. Ideally, I live like 1 hit potentially, and just try to get 1 or 2 Focus Blast hits off on the Slowbro. I do see that it's Choppleberry, which is good, and it's also pretty sure it's special defensive based on the damage that I did there. So I'm definitely okay with this exchange. Gallade should probably kill with Drain Punch in return. Kind of questionable, but I'm pretty confident at worst I live one hit anyway from Slowbro if it's only at +1 attack. That should be fine. If it's at +2 attack, it probably kills me. But if it goes for another curse here, then I have 2 chances to hit a second Focus Blast. Fortunately, I do hit a Focus Blast here, which is great. And it's going to bring this Snorlax super low. And I figured he's going to just try to go for the kill on the Tornadus. Because Focus Blast was going to borderline, like, not kill the Slowbro, but do a lot, or the Snorlax, but do a lot of damage. So I figured he was going to just attack there and not go for a second Bulk Up. Maybe that was a decent chance for him to, like, win the game there, me missing 2 Focus Blasts. But he probably feels like he has a better chance to win the game otherwise. So I do let my Torn go down. It does land 2 Focus Blasts, which I will definitely take. Depending, now I'm debating on how I want to kill it. I think my my Gallade is pretty nice to just come in and click Drain Punch. Really nothing on the team at this point wants to take hits. Not my Sharpedo, my Torn is dead. So, like, Celebi could come in here, but I go for Drain Punch, and then I go for a Triple Axle, and then I can, like, gauge how bulky the Celebi is. But he's going to just sack off the Snorlax. Snorlax shouldn't be doing anything at this point in the game. Might take a hit from Klefki if it's rest, but, like, my Blissey also, I guess, doesn't have an attacking move. So, Snorlax could have been at least a little bit useful there, but regardless, he chooses to sack it and gets a free switch into Celebi. Celebi's annoying. Could definitely be like a setup, like a Calm Mind or a Nasty plot set, I suppose, but Sharpedo should probably handle any form of Celebi at that point, if it's something like that, unless if it's Colbert Berry. But I do want to go for Triple Axle just to gauge how much damage it's doing, just in case it's like a setup set. And I should be doing pretty decent damage, borderline kill if he's not bulky. But as we see from this damage, he's at least max HP. It's hard to determine based on the damage I did there if it's like max defensive or what the deal is, but he's probably at least max HP. So that's fine, and it's also a decent amount of speed because I do have a lot of speed on the Gallade, so he does have at least some speed on the Celebi, so that's generally good to know. The damage that he did from Psychic means that he's not, or very minimally special attack invested, which is fine. Out of range of taking to a Psychic Zone. That's why I want to go for a Drain Punch, but that's probably not going to accomplish much. I go on my Slowbro here, predicting him to go for a Recover and just hope that I missed Triple Axle. I felt like that was probably his best way out, but he just goes for a Psychic there. I could have killed with Triple Axle. I landed 3 hits. It kind of seemed risky on his part, but it works out for him. But he has the play now to go sack the Gastrodon, which is definitely a good play. I could go for a Psychic there, so Hitmonchan's not the best play, and Sludgeone's going to knock out the Gastrodon. So he has this sack, and right now it's in pretty decent position for me to win this game. It's a 5-on-2, so though the Hitmonchan's still a little bit annoying, I don't necessarily know what the Celebi's going to do. It's like not that attack invested and has Psychic, and that's about it. Probably Recover. I don't know what other moves they have. Maybe Toxic to take on the Blissey potentially. The Hitmonchan's out. Could go for a Drain Punch here, being aggressive if I wanted to make any other play. I feel like I didn't have a play. Earthquake seems really free from mid because everything gets hit with Earthquake and probably borderline dies to Earthquake. Gallade might live a hit, but it might not live an Earthquake plus a Mach Punch. There is a chance that the Hitmonchan doesn't have Mach Punch because he didn't go for it twice on my Sharpedo, but that seems like a super risky play there. But again, I'm not 100%, so there's no need to risk it. So he just kills me off going for Earthquake. That's definitely fine. My Klefki could have gotten a Prankster Toxic on the Celebi, but he always has Natural Cure at worst anyway, so I'm okay with losing the Celebi here and getting a free switching into something. And I think my Gallade's probably the best bet here. I could go for Triple Axle. I don't know if it kills, though, is the thing. I don't really know necessarily how much bulk this Hitmonchan has either. So I have, obviously, 3 plays there. Drain Punch, Triple Axles, and Headbutt. I don't think Bulk Up is the play. It could have been the play. And get, like, would have pressured a Celebi a lot, but I go for Drain Punch here because he stays with Hitmonchan. I should live the hit pretty comfortably. If he switches out in the Celebi, I knew I could live 2 Psychics. So that's why I was okay with this exchange, and then I can rely on triple axles later on. So he does switch into Celebi, makes the aggressive play, maybe knowing that I wouldn't want to risk triple axle missing. And now has the Celebi in pretty decent situation, but I do have the Blissey, which is still close to 100%. I don't think the Celebi is going to be able to do anything to it. And we see it has Recover, which makes sense. So I know it's Psychic, Recover. Maybe Toxic would be a little bit annoying, but not entirely sure what this has. So it looks like it's more physically defensive based on the damage I'm doing, especially after that damage roll there. So I probably don't beat this with triple axle because there's a low chance, or there's a 70% chance we can land all 3 hits, and I'm doing just above 50%. So there's definitely the odds are mid's favor that I don't land all 3 hits or get crits or something like that. So this is probably his best play. There's no reason for me not to like try to go for triple axles anyway, because I always have a Blissey that I can go into. He could make a really aggressive play here and go into Hitmonchan, but it probably doesn't make sense because I could just triple axle again here and just get this Celebi really low to where my Sharpedo would revenge kill with the crunch. So I don't think he's going to make that play. Blissey seemed pretty safe just to take whatever hit Celebi wants to go for and just go from there. Maybe I can gauge what other move it is. Could also have been Calm Mind Celebi, so if he does go for Calm Mind here, then I could get a Toxic on it. We see he does go for Psychic, so I still don't really know what the other moves are in a Celebi. I just know it's Psychic and Recover. So I could go for a Toxic here if I predict the Celebi to stay in. I predict the Hitmonchan to come out, because if Hitmonchan gets in for free, Drain Punch is kind of nice to get more recovery. Earthquake is also like 100% free and probably gets a kill. So I go Teleport. I'm still healthy enough to where I take up Celebi hit later on. I'm not too worried about that. Gets up Rocks. Not the big of the deal, but it could borderline... Celebi could borderline to a KO my Slowbro. So that is something that's of note. I switch into the Slowbro here. It could be Earth Power Celebi, and that's going to do pretty decent damage. But again, I should do decent damage with the Sludge Bomb. Again, putting it in range to where my Sharpedo should kill with a Crunch and Return. In a very worst case, I do have a Blissey that could at least reliably stay in on this. Psychic comes out and does okay damage, but not enough to where it's going to kill, and obviously to a KO with Sludge Bomb. But the thing is, if he gets a Psychic crit here, that would be pretty unfortunate. But I risk it anyway and stay for Slack Off. I could have gone into Blissey there. Hitmonchan, I feel like, also could have been a play there, predicting me to go for a Slack Off. And then if I Slack Off and the Hitmonchan would have came in, I would have been at full HP, but Earthquake was pretty free for him and would have done a lot of damage. Maybe even put me in range of dying. So probably not a play that I wanted to risk. So I was fine risking the Celebi staying in and going for a hit. It's a little bit of a weird pause there, but if the Celebi killed me with a crit, then it was low enough to where Sharpedo probably killed in return. It could be Culver Berry though, so maybe it would have been a little bit interesting. Probably would have gone into Blissey on the Celebi, gone for a Toxic or gone for another Teleport or something. Now he's going to switch out and make the Hitmon play here finally, maybe predicting that I don't go for a Psychic move. Sludge Bomb makes sense. This was what I was kind of worrying about before, and I didn't really know how much bulk the Hitmonchan had. Not a ton. I do a lot of damage with the Sludge Bomb, which is great. He'd either go for Earthquake, which obviously makes sense, would kill the Weezing, or not the Weezing, the Slowbro, but I probably want to say the Slowbro for the Celebi. I could get like a nice poison damage off with the Sludge Bomb. I think even with a crit, the Celebi shouldn't be able to kill me. So I go into my Gallade. The Gallade is not as useful because my Blissey can also just beat the Celebi. And if you go for a Drain Punch, it's not going to do a lot of damage. Drain Punch could have been a very aggressive play if he made it. Fortunately, I do live the Earthquake there. I knew I was going to live it based on the damage. Then I knew it was Adamant, Expert Belt. I knew I lived the hit anyway with Gallade. Mach Punch could have killed there, but even if Mach Punch killed, then the Hitmonchan would have died anyway. And I do add speed, which is great. It looks like he probably didn't have Mach Punch, which is fine, but again, no reason for me to risk my Sharpedo at that point. And I'm in pretty good position to win this game. So the Celebi comes out here. Probably is going to just continuously recover until I miss a triple axle. But instead, Mid just goes for the Psychic. Probably accepts that I'm probably going to win this game 3-0. Sharpedo didn't make sense to go into that there. Oh, and it's leftover Celebi anyway. I think I was saying maybe I was worried about Colbur Celebi. That's definitely wrong. So, in the end, I just go into Blissey. I could have gone into Slowbro and won the game there with a Sludge Bomb. Even a crit Psychic wouldn't have killed me from my range, but honestly, I just wanted to get another kill with Blissey and try to get it up at the kill leader. So, I think that was a question of the day a couple weeks ago if I could get a top 10 kill leader with Blissey. So I'm definitely going for that there. So this is a little bit stally. I'll speed up the last couple minutes, but it's me just going for Toxic because the only moves I have left are Stealth Rocks, Teleport, Soft Boil, and Toxic. I can't really do much damage to this Celebi anyway. So eventually I'm going to kill the Celebi with poison damage because he's not going to be able to switch out. And I win the game 3-0. So yeah, so now I'm 6-0. Pretty safe. I mean, I am 100% in playoffs. Maybe even guarantee like a top half seed in playoffs, even if I lose my last 2 games, which is great. Probably not bringing that serious stuff the next 2 weeks, but I'm definitely going to try to keep Blissey in the contention for a kill leader. It's probably, I think it's around 3rd or 4th place right now, so hopefully we can get that to number 1. But yeah, let me know what you think about Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is the question of the day, but also let me know what you thought about this post-narration. Something different for sure. But yeah, until next time, later guys.